Hello everyone, FPO Willem here. In this video I will showcase you guys my limitless draft for Game Week 5. I have to say it is only Wednesday the 20th of November, so there is gonna be a weekend to have some games in their own leagues, but I can't record it any later than this day as I have a wildcard draft coming up and I don't have any time on the weekends, and I have to showcase my team as well on the Monday, so I'm a bit tight with time. But yeah, this will be my limitless draft for Game Week 5. I want to thank you guys once again for reaching 100 subs already. Hoping to push to the 150 subs as soon as possible, and hope you guys like the video and leave a comment about what you guys think of this limitless draft. But with that talk out of the way, let's start with the limitless draft. Now, of course, we start with the targets with Game Week 5. It's always the targets. With the wildcard is the targets, with the limitless is the targets, and with my own team is the targets. So every time you will watch a video of mine, the second slide after the intro is the targets. Do want to point out that I'm not gonna limitless myself. I don't really need it, and I can tell you guys that I will drastically need it in Game Week 6. But if you find yourself in a spot needing to limitless, then this video will be for you. Even if you don't limitless, maybe you want to have a one-day punt or one game week punt with a few players, this video will be for you. The first thing you guys will notice are that in this target sheet, only 4 fixtures are on the Wednesday, and you can skip the left side, that's Tuesday, but the right side, Borussia Dortmund against Dynamo Zagreb, Celtic against Club Brugge, Lille, which isn't maybe not the greatest game, against Bologna away, and PSV against Shakhtar at home. And PSV, maybe you guys underestimate them, but they're doing quite well. But yeah, I don't really, even without Lille, there are only 3 fixtures, and even Celtic against Club Brugge, now they did great, but Celtic is still, I think Celtic and Club Brugge are level with that, so I'm unsure how that will go. But yeah, to pick out the best targets is basically Milan, who play against Slovan Bratislava away, Barca that plays Brest at home. Now I do have to say that Brest is doing well in the Champions League, but I think Barca are miles better, or just at least a step above them, especially from the way they are playing at the moment. Leverkusen versus Salzburg, Dortmund versus Dynamo Zagreb, and Inter versus Leipzig, and basically last but not least, City versus Feyenoord. Other teams in here are good as well, but the fixtures I just pointed out are just the best to pick from. So for now, these were the fixtures to focus on. Let's move on to the limitless draft and start off with the goalkeepers. So for my goalies, I've decided to go with Sommer from Inter and Benitez from PSV. Sommer plays on a Tuesday at home against Leipzig, and Benitez plays on a Wednesday at home against Shakhtar. Now, Sommer got 4 clean sheets in the Champions League campaign so far, and those were like teams City and Arsenal. And I think if you can keep a clean sheet against Arsenal and City, you can keep a clean sheet against Leipzig. He often gets some save, or at least 1 save point from shots from distance, often desperately shots, because they can't get through the defense. And just a small note there as well, if they get a penalty, there is a bigger chance normally that Sommer saves it, as he is kind of known to be a penalty saver. He did it for his country, and he does it as well for Inter, and in previous campaigns he even did it for Bayern München. So he has some kind of penalty ability, but let's just hope he doesn't get any penalties against him. I don't think you guys need Benitez, the second goalkeeper I've gone with here, but if necessary, then he is my personal favorite opinion, as he kept a clean sheet against Girona as well with some save points. I think he got 3 saves in the first 10 minutes, that equals 1 save point. After it, he didn't do anything. It was a bit of a sloppy start on PSV, but after it, they did great. I think they won 4-0 against Girona. If you don't like Benitez, you could also go with Schmeichel from Celtic, who plays on a Wednesday as well, at home against Brugge. Now, I think, in my personal opinion, Shakhtar is a lesser opponent than Brugge, and I think PSV is a better team than Celtic is, but I think Schmeichel will get some save points, more save points there than Benitez, but I think there's a bigger opportunity for Benitez to get a clean sheet than Celtic does, than Schmeichel does. But yeah, it's personal preference. I don't think there's any wrong going with Schmeichel, and without the power of hindsight, yeah, we just don't know what's going to happen. But these are my goalkeepers. Let's move on to the defenders. Now in the defending department, my backline consists of Theo Hernandez, Koundé, Grimaldo, Can and Frimpong. Now to start off, let's just get 2 out of the way with Grimaldo and Frimpong. The Leverkusen backs, they play against Salzburg at home. And I expect a clean sheet for them. I expect some returns from them, and I expect some ball recoveries there as well. Salzburg haven't been great, at least in the defending department. They haven't been great. They got scored against, well, I think Feyenoord had 10 men, and they even got scored against the Feyenoord with 10 men. They did win the game, but they weren't doing great. I expect Grimaldo and Frimpong, as they have shown in previous games, to add attacking threats, and I expect at least an assist from one of these guys. High expectations, but it's just Salzburg who are awful, and Milan, or Leverkusen, I'm sorry, Milan is next up, have shown that they are just great in the defending department and in the attacking department, even against the types of Liverpool. They did okay. Now, to start off on the left side, Theo Hernandez, not to be confused with the brother from PSG, but this one plays for AC Milan. AC Milan play against Slovan Bratislava away. Now Milan haven't been that great in the Champions League, but they have had a difficult fixtures. But those fixtures are turning now. You guys will see that I will like them in my previous video and in my next video with the wildcard. But if you're not using Limitless, Hernandez will still be a great pick. He gets a decent amount of ball recoveries and is really attacking as well. Combine it with a potential clean sheet against Slovan Bratislava, and I think you have once again another 8-pointer out there as well. Koundé is next to Hernandez. Koundé might not keep the clean sheet, but his attacking stats in the Champions League has been great so far, and he gets a lot of ball recoveries there as well. I think he gets around like 6, so that's 2 points for you. Secretly, I expect him to keep a clean sheet against Brest, but that would be an added bonus. He also gets around, as I said, 6 ball recoveries there as well. He got 3 assists in the last game. He didn't even get man of the match. I don't know how he didn't get it, but he didn't get man of the match. Yeah, I think that's a great pick. And even against Brest, who have been playing well in the league so far, I expect Barcelona to win that game and maybe keep a clean sheet there. The last one there, as I talked about the Leverkusen guys already, is Can. I feel like I have Can in every single video, and I'm feeling like I'm saying like, oh, I feel like I have Can in every single video. So it's basically Canception for now. But as someone with a Wednesday fixture against Dinamo Zagreb, who does take the penalties, gets clean sheets and gets a decent amount of ball recoveries there, I think I just have to put him in. A quick note that he got a red card in the last Bundesliga game. That means he won't play a game before the Champions League in the Bundesliga. I don't know who they play against who. I have no idea. Which means he will be rested for the game, and I expect him to play. He did get rested. He didn't play against Real Madrid earlier in the Champions League, but as he won't play the game in the Bundesliga on the Saturday or on the Sunday, I expect him to play on the Wednesday for the Champions League. Now these were my defenders. Hope you guys like it. There are of course there are other options, but these are my defenders I will be picking if they don't get injured on the weekend. Let's move on to the midfielders. Now in the midfield department, I've decided to go with Rafinha, Wirtz, Musiala, Pulisic and Tillman. And now I know it, Rafinha is a bit of an open door. He got 48 points in the last 3 games, and I think that's quite unprecedented. I know it, as I said, it's an open door. 50% or around 50% of the guys who play this game or the fantasy format game have them in their team, especially by Game Week 5 probably. He is a goal and assist magnet for Barcelona, and I expect him to be that against Brest. Tiny note that he did get subbed out in the 58 minutes in the last Champions League game, and he did play for Brazil in the international games, so he might be rested once again in the early stages of the second half, and maybe if he doesn't play in the weekend game, I don't know who they play in the league, he gets some more minutes in the Champions League, but yeah, I think he's still a great asset with lesser minutes. I expect him to be subbed out around the 60-70th minute. Now next to Rafinha is Wirtz. Wirtz is, or has already shown it, to get some returns there. He is a talisman for Leverkusen and is important for basically every attacking threat. And playing against Salzburg, I think Wirtz is a great asset. I don't know if he's on penalties, gotta look that up. But I'm tripling up on the Leverkusen boys. He got 3 man of the match rewards already, and he got scored 3 in the league there as well in the Champions League. I think, yeah, you can't go without him. And next to him is his fellow countryman Musiala. Musiala is basically fixture proof. I feel like he's fixture proof. He's shown it against Barcelona and he's shown it against Leicester team. But the easier the fixtures, the better the potential. Bayern do play against PSG, and on paper that's maybe a bit difficult. But PSG is not having a great run so far, and I think Bayern at home will walk over them, and Musiala will be important in that game. Could also go with Kane, but maybe I have him in my team. You guys will see it in a few minutes. Pulisic is next to Musiala. He plays, as Hernandez does, away against Bratislava. He's shown so far against difficult opponents that he can score, and now it's time for AC Milan and Pulisic to do it against lesser teams or easier ones. Pulisic is a midfielder but plays as attacking as Leao does, who is a forward in the game, so that's a bit, yeah, that's why you're picking Pulisic instead of Leao. He takes corners, free kicks, and has a lot of threats to score goals and some assists there as well. Maybe that one point for a clean sheet, and maybe some ball recoveries there as well. So you gotta to win your league, you always need a tiny points or some points with ball recoveries there to win it all. And last one on the sheet is Tillman. Now maybe a lot of you guys aren't known with Tillman. I had it in my previous video on the Game Week 4 that Tillman is doing great in the league. I couldn't get him in myself because I was having injuries. I went with Boscalgi, the PSV defender, and he got a clean sheet for me as well, so I'm happy there as well. Now, you could choose other players instead of Tillman, but Tillman has shown great attacking threats and plays on the Wednesday. So at least you have one midfielder who plays on the Wednesday. All the other guys play on the Tuesday. He plays against Shakhtar at home, and with the game he had against Girona, there's a lot of potential in him. He's also around like 6 ball recoveries per game, so that's 2 points there as well. That's quite decent for an attacking midfielder. So yeah, that's my option in Tillman. There are other options, but I like to have at least some players who play on the Wednesday. But yeah, these were my options for the midfield. Let's move on to the attacking department. Now to finish this team off, in the attacking department I've gone with Lewandowski, Haaland and Guirassy. Triple up on Barca against Brest at home is almost a must, and with Lewandowski up front it will almost be guaranteed for points. He scored in his last 3 Champions League games, and I expect him to get some more points or at least some more goals there as well. He doesn't really get the man of the match rewards, but maybe if he bangs in a hat-trick he finally gets one against Brest. He scored like 4 goals in the last 2 games, 2 per game, but he didn't get it. But yeah, still with 2 goals you get around 10 points. I think Lewandowski playing against Brest at home, yeah, a must in your team. Next to Lewandowski is Haaland. Don't think I need to add that much. Great fixture with a leaking Feyenoord defense, and expect some goals from Haaland there as well. He might not be on a roll this season as he usually is, but that doesn't mean that he can't do it anymore. He still gets those important, at least he gets the XG, he gets a lot of shots, so maybe they aren't going in now, but they could be going in anytime soon. And I think against Feyenoord he will get at least one, and he's on penalties there as well. And as I said, Feyenoord is quite a leaking defense, so yeah, expect some returns from Haaland there as well. And the last one I've gone with is Guirassy. I think in a away game against Zagreb he will get his goals. He is a bit on and off with his performances, I gotta be honest with that, but I think he will have a lot of chances for goal, and that he will score, maybe that he will score them as well. I don't know, I'm not quite sure about it. He wasn't doing that great against Stuttgart at home, but I still think Dortmund, they were having some injuries there as well, but I think most of them after the international game are back, or at least attacking ones are back, and with creativity I think Guirassy will get his goals there. Yeah, that's basically my limitless team. I didn't go with Kane as I said a few minutes ago, but that's basically because I think these 3 guys are better, and you only get 3 options. For the other positions you get 5. Yeah, I think these guys are better. Yeah, this is my limitless team. In the next line I quickly show you guys how to put out your team on the Tuesday. There are only 4 players who play on the Wednesday, so it won't be long, but yeah, let's move on to that slide. Now in this team I only have 4 players who play on the Wednesday. Those are the PSV and the Dortmund players. That means you will bench those 4 players. I think it's basically bread and butter. You guys should know that if you have players who play on the Wednesday, you put them on the bench. I have only 4 players, so I will put them all on the bench. I don't expect to need Benitez, but the other 3 guys could be useful if some of these guys won't score a lot of points. I expect all players to be fit if they make the weekend. From now on they are fit, as I know, but yeah, just keep a close eye on the weekend if they are fit. Nothing is guaranteed. as players can come, well, get some rest. I think players with the Liverpool, who are top of the league in both leagues actually, can give their players some rest, as they are, well, not qualified yet, but they are closing in on the qualifying yet. But I think this squad is full of points, and I think most of these guys will play there as well. Now, this was my Limitless team. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have suggestions for other players, I would like to know it. I would like to see them in the comments. Maybe I've seen some over my head. I think a player like Koen is great from Celtic, but the players I've picked, I think they are better. But it's always personal opinion, and I already know it, with the power of hindsight after these games, Koen will score a lot more goals. But it's personal opinion, of course, guys. I would like to thank you guys once again. I will say basically every video from now, reaching 100 subs. It's just I didn't expect it to be hitting it this soon with only 5 game weeks in. But yeah, thanks for that. I hope you all have a great evening, morning, afternoon. I don't know how late it is when you guys watch this video. As I said, hope you guys are doing great. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye bye.